Yo everyone, Mango here, and welcome back to another episode in our hero profile for the online trading card game Shadow Era. So today I'm going to be playing Raikka, Shadow Mage, and I actually just played a game, but I didn't have sleeves or a mat, and I don't like putting videos out there like that. I think I already did that once, and I wasn't happy with that. So see, so what this deck is, it's based around your location and buffing the allies that you have to play with. So for now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of this guy, and I'm going to play this guy. So you have a ton of low-cost allies, one cost allies, two cost allies, and some three cost allies. For the most part, the allies you really focus on are the lower ones. Hopefully, you can get out a lot of them and buff them up to be able to kill your opponent. And so for me right here, I have a pretty good start, almost about as solid a start as you would want. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play out this card here, and this card is going to allow me to discard a card from my hand and buff a fellow homunculus ally. So this guy's homunculus ally, so I can buff him. But what also happens is I kill that opposing ally because when this guy is discarded from your hand or your deck, he deals 3 damage to the opposing ally with the lowest health value. And that ally happened to have 3 health, and so I was able to kill him off. And like I said, this hand is almost exactly what you would want to start with. I mean, it's perfect, a perfect start. I'm going to be able to use Bad Santa on my next turn, and then also buff this ally, and then draw with my and then use my location, or I can do something else depending on what else I draw. So it just matters what I pull into on my next turn. So let's see. And my opponent, Elementalis, usually they're really rush and ally focused deck. So losing an early ally for him is pretty bad as well. So this game might showcase what it's like to win right away with the deck, because this deck you can pretty much lock down the game and win in the first 3 to 5 turns. Okay, so he decides to play an Infinity Core. I guess he didn't have any allies he wanted to play out. It's interesting. I'm going to actually I'm going to get rid of this. I'm going to get rid of this card. Whoops, what's going on here? I'll get rid of this card. I'd rather not, but I'm going to play this guy, and then I'm going to show you the interaction with the location. So remember, locations are free to play cards. You just have to play it with the turn requirement. The turn requirement here is on the top right hand corner. You see T3. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this guy's ability for 0 shadow energy to remove 1 durability from this, and then he gained 1 attack value. And because a friendly ally gained attack value this turn, I get to use the ability, which buffs both of my allies by +1/+1 since they're homunculus tribe allies, and then I will come in and attack. So it draws you a card and it buffs your allies by 1/1. And so let's go ahead and end my turn. And so you see quickly you can grow even your small allies into something very big or very large and scary. I remember that gremlin was a 0/3 when I first put him into play, and now he's already a 3/5. So with the right starting hand, you can be in pretty good shape with this style of deck. But also with the wrong starting hand, you can die really fast. So whoa, look at that! That thing just turned into a 4/6. But it is only a 2 cost, so I'll be able to kill it on my next turn. So I'm going to get rid of this for right now. Let's play Bad Santa, draw some cards. Not bad. Let's use Gremlin again to use his ability to eat away the last durability there. And then I'll use this ability to buff all my allies again for 1 shadow energy. And you see now this guy has gone up to 3 attack. This ally is only 2 cost. And so this ally's special ability is for 1 shadow energy, opposing ally with cost less than his attack is killed. His attack is 3. This ally's cost is 2. There you go. And then play I'll play another Bad Santa just to fill up my hand. I know I'm filling up his as well, but it's okay. And then we'll come in and deal 9 damage to the hero. And then we will end my turn. And so I'm thinking he'll probably concede here because he's not going to be able to come back really. And with how quickly these games can go, this might be the first video where I actually play 2 games with a single deck. So turn 5, oh, he's going to stick around. All right, I'll give that to him. You know, a lot of me, I would have already quit by now because I don't really see a way that you can make a comeback. And he has a spark. Okay, like I said, I give him props for hanging around. So I will play this armor. At least it gives me a chance to show you how this works. And I will use its ability to exile, remove from the game 1 ally, and then target friendly homunculus ally gains +1/+1. And then again, because this ally gained health or attack value, I get to activate this, draw a card, both my allies get buffed again, and then I'm going to put this into play. I'm going to use this to discard an ally, so I'm going to show you how this one works. So I'll discard this guy, and when I discard an ally, I get to buff my allies again, this ally, by +1/+1. And you see how quickly all this can snowball. And then I'm going to use this guy's ability again to kill off this thing to give him another attack value. So now I have 2 allies with, or 1 ally with 7. And then I will use this guy's special ability to target this to give him 1 more health. And that will be the game. Oh, I'm trying to tell this guy good game, but he already took off. If your opponent leaves the game, you won't be able to say anything to them. All right, so that was a really fast game. Let's just try to get another one in. Like I said, these games go really fast, so that one I won really quickly. Maybe the next one I'll lose really quickly. You can see how volatile this deck is. Okay, so up next is a fat 80 card maximum 80 card maximum deck, and I tell you, whenever I play these things, they always have the best luck against me. They always get exactly what they need. So let's see how this goes. So I'm going to get rid of one of these locations. I don't need 2. And I will go ahead and, yeah, I'll summon this guy out. And I'll end my turn. So he's only a 1/1 cost, 1/1 ally. And for 1 cost is not very great. But with I have then items in play that I can use to buff him up. And so that's why I felt okay playing him right now. Okay, and so he doesn't have anything else. So I'm going to get rid of this card for now. I'll play Abomination Factory. Let's go ahead and discard this guy. So whenever this guy is discarded, friendly homunculus allies, all friendly homunculus gain +1/+1. So this guy will actually go from 1/1 to 3/3 because he gained stats from this thing being discarded, and he gained stats because of this. So he got 2 boosts of +1/+1. Okay, let's go ahead and end our turn. And so let's see what he has on turn 3 for me here. Oh, he has nothing. Okay. So, all right. So I'm going to get rid of one of these, I guess, for right now. No, I can't do that. What I will do is I will skip my turn so I can play the location out and then play this. And I will use this to exile this guy from my grave, buff him up to 4/4, and then I will activate my ability to draw a card. And then I will come in and attack with him for 5. Okay, I'm good with that. And then I'll end my turn. So I didn't want to discard one of these guys. I want to hang on to them for right now. Okay, so he's on turn 4. Sacrifices away. Illicit information. Okay, so every time a card is discarded from my hand, he's going to draw a card. That's actually like a perfect card for him to have. Jeez. All right, so let's see. But I might be able to kill him before he gets maximum value from that. So let's play this guy in, and let's go ahead and discard this guy to give all of my allies +1/+1. But then I'll target this guy to really buff him up. See, now he goes up to 7/7, and then I will use this. Well, hang on. First, let's go ahead and we'll draw a card with this. Okay, and again, that buffed my allies up. And I'm going to use this to exile this guy from my grave. And I'm going to buff this guy up to 9/9. Come in, 9 damage to my opponent. Not bad, not bad at all. End my turn. Okay, so the only thing that could save him here would be an ankle breaker, which is a really nasty weapon. Yes. I tell you, every time I play a fat deck like this, always have that ankle breaker. I'm just surprised he didn't have a ill-gotten gains. Okay, so let's see. Let's go ahead. We'll skip. We'll play this guy, and then we'll go ahead and activate the ability of that item again to discard this ally to buff this guy up to 4/8, and then I will use this to maybe not. Maybe I'll hold off on that. Let's use this. Let's use the ability for the location again. One shadow energy. Draw a card. And I will use this to exile this guy, I guess. And buff. I'll go ahead and buff this guy up. And then I'll come in here and attack. All right. So now he has to deal with the 9 attack ally because otherwise he's going to die. So you see the way this deck really rolls if you get that location in play. You get that location in play early, it can be good game really quickly. And so he is really considering mulling over what he has in his hand. I wonder what he has to play with. Holy crap! You have got to be kidding me. Coercion is a card that allows you to take control on an opposing ally and use it at your own, use it how you wish, just for that turn. And so let's see what he'll come in and probably hit this ally again. Yeah, might as well. And that will be the end of his turn. So I mean, I do get to keep the ally, so it's not the worst thing that could have happened. Um, let's go ahead and yeah, I'm gonna get rid of that. Let's do Bad Santa here to draw some cards. Abomination Factory, perfect. So we will play Abomination Factory. We will discard this guy here to buff up this guy. Both of my allies get a nice buff. I will use my ability to draw a card and buff them up even more, and I will end my turn. And so now he has to deal with both of those allies, unless he has another coercion in hand. Let's see, what else could he have? If he has a sinkhole, he could take care of the rotlings, because the sinkhole would exile it. Trying to think what else. If he had like if he had a Christopher Wilde, the one cost haste ally, he could summon him and then do assassination off of him. He can come in with Oliver Fagin here. That would be a real pain in the butt. And that would steal one of my allies. Well, instead he has Visions of India, which doubles all damage dealt to one ally. So it doesn't matter what attachments or anything that you have in play, it will take double damage from it. The only thing I think that can save it is Holy Shield, because that prevents an ally from dying. And that's something Visions of India does not do. It's actually something I've never tested before, so I don't really know if it works that way or not. Hey, look at that. It looks like I'm going to win this one. Woohoo! All right, so I'm going to skip my turn. Let's give this guy a GG. And we'll come in here and hit for 8, and we win the game. Wow, we got 2 games in with this deck in under 15 minutes, which is, pretty quick. All right, so let's go ahead and check out the deck real quick. And so, like I said, this deck, I don't know if this is the best way to construct it or not, but this is just the way I put it together. So you have 2 of these guys, 1 cost, and 1/1 attack. But this guy's really in here to trigger the location, because when you summon him, you can exile an ally from a graveyard, and he gains +1/+1. So remember, with the location, anytime your ally gains +1/+1, you get to activate it. Or anytime an ally gains attack or health value, you get to activate the location. So he's in there as another way to activate it for very low cost. Barren Land Gremlin, having this going first and on turn 1 is is amazing start, especially if you have another item to play turn two that you can start using his ability to eat away at the durability and gain attack value. So for zero shadow energy, you get to target an item you control and it loses one durability. That's anything, weapon, armor, it doesn't matter. And then he gains one attack. So you see again, he gains that plus one base attack, and you can activate the location with that. Plightbred Runt, of course, he's in here because he has that awesome discard ability where all your homunculus allies gain plus one. So that's mainly what he's used for. Playing him, you can play him going first on turn two if you want. He's got a decent attack value, especially if you think you can activate your location right away, because then he would be a 4-2 and then a 5-3, in the next couple of turns. So he can make a lot of headway. Cinderborn Fatebreaker. This card you kind of have to have four copies of. He's your kind of anti-warrior card because all abilities with cost three or less are negated, and then he dies. So he's kind of a shield for your other allies, for your bigger allies, which would be something like this guy. Now, this is the one you really want to live because he can grow so quickly. His natural ability is that he gains plus one attack value every time an ally is killed. So either one of your allies or one of your opponent's allies. So if you need to get his attack up by one, sometimes it's best to suicide one of your smaller allies into maybe the opponent's weapon or to an opponent's ally, and then he'd gain that plus one attack value. And the reason you'd want to do that is because you see his special ability is for one shadow energy, target opposing ally with cost less than his attack value is killed. So if you have him with three attack value, you'd be able to, for one shadow energy, target and kill an ally with two or less attack value. Okay, so another great way to gain synergy with the location. So all these cards in here, basically, every one of these allies gains, triggers the location in some way, except for this guy and then this guy. But this guy is here. He's got 2/5 stats, which is pretty good for a 3-cost card. But the main reason he's here is because with Abomination Factory, you can discard him away and deal 3 damage to an opposing ally with the lowest health. So it gives you a great little control tool. But also he grows pretty quick. 2/5 becomes a 3/6 with one activation of the ability. And I mean, that's, Braxnorian soldier stats. He's a 5-cost card. So, he becomes a 3/6, then he becomes a 4/7. So he can get out of control pretty quickly. This guy I threw in here because it just seemed like a good idea to have a couple. Maybe I would reduce this to something that I can actually go on the offensive with. But I kind of wanted something to heal and to be a tank. So this guy, he has no attack value, and he doesn't synergize well with the location. So he's really probably not a good choice. But I just wanted to try him out and see if I could play with him in the video. But it turns out I didn't really draw into him. But at the end of each of your turns, all of your allies and your hero heal 1 damage. And then he has plus one attack while he's damaged. So if he gets damaged, he can get plus one attack, and then every time you trigger the location, he would be, of course, buffed. And he does have the armor, so he's like Infernal Gargoyle. All damage done to him is reduced by 1. So he's a little tank, and it's nice to have tanks in a deck like this. Bad Santa. Draw 3 cards for 2 costs. There's no explanation for that. In this deck, it's a real low curve, 2, 3-cost items and allies, so having this in play just makes sense. Abomination Factory. Target ally in your hand is discarded, and Abomination Factory loses 1 durability. Loom of Fate. So this used to be this card was changed to give durability, so now it has 3 durability. So it gives you another options to eat away with the Gremlin. Remember the Gremlin, he likes to eat away at items with durability. So this gives you effectively a 5 options now that you can target and remove durability with to activate his ability to gain an attack value. Okay, so that's why this is in here, and it's another form of draw. Splicer's Crown. The attack target ally in the graveyard is exiled, and you get to buff one of your homunculus allies by +1/+1. And so, of course, doing that activates the location, which is the real key to the deck. You can still win without it, but with it, you're almost guaranteed to blow your opponent out of the water. And so for 1 shadow energy, every time one of your allies gains an attack or health value, you get to activate this and buff your allies further by +1/+1 and draw a card. So it's your draw engine, it's your ally buff, and it's the key to the deck. It really is. Your opponent, of course, remember locations have options for your opponent to utilize it as well. And the opponent's side, for 2 shadow energy, so it's a little more expensive for them. But for 2 shadow energy, they actually get to draw a card and then reduce all homunculus allies by 1 health. So they get to ping all of your allies by one, drop them down by 1 health. And they take control of the location, which means that in order for you to activate the buffs again, you would have to spend 2 shadow energy to flip it back to your side, and then 1 shadow energy to activate the buff. So 3 in total. So it's got its definite high points. Your opponent being able to steal it from you is kind of a low point, but to be honest, if they're at the point where they're having to do that, they might be in real bad trouble with the game already, and it might not be a game they can win. So don't really worry about that, but try to time it out in case you play it early, and the in case you play it out, or in case you play it out late, and your opponent can use it to kill, your allies before you can get any value out of them. Okay, so that was the homunculus Reika, and actually let's take a look at the hero. I didn't use her ability, but for 3 shadow energy until the start of your next turn, all damage that your allies receive is reduced by 1, and all damage that your allies deal is increased by 1. So you can use her as a sneaky finishing tool. In my games, I happen to never use her ability because I was always using the shadow energy to buff my own allies. So there's really no wrong way to do it. You can save it up and try to use it later on to finish your opponent, but sometimes it's better off using it to buff your own allies to really take out your opponent. So that was Reika Spell Seeker, and this is the only way I know how to deal to play this deck. Uh, if anybody has any other ideas, feel free to leave me a comment in the bottom there with the video, and I will. Maybe I'll give it a shot. Maybe I'll make another video on it later on. Just because we're going to be making more and more videos for this. But for now, do what you can to help us out. Like, share, subscribe. Comment on the video. Try to get us some exposure. Try to get us out there. Like I said, there's a lot of videos on Shadow Era out there, but there's a lot of old videos out there, and we're trying to put some new stuff, into the public's view, so this way they have other things to look at. All right. So again, guys, like, share, subscribe, comment. Like I said, let me know if you have another way to play this hero, and I'd be glad to try it in the future. And again, thanks for watching, everybody, and I will see you next time.